So in this video, we're going to take a look at how we can first of all access the Linux terminal, and then we're going to take a look at how we can run our Linux commands. Once we know how to access the terminal as well as run commands, then we're going to take a look at how we can navigate through various commands. And then after that, we're going to do a little bit deep dive on understanding the command syntax, how the Linux command syntax works so that we can go ahead and start using them. But before we jump right into the basics, it's important to know how to access Linux system in the first place. Even before you get down to accessing your terminal, you need to get access to the Linux machine. Now there are two ways to do this. The first one is, let's say if you're using a Mac OS machine, you can simply go ahead and use your terminal in your Mac OS. That's going to work as well. There's not going to be much difference. The second way is basically you're going to go ahead and install a virtual machine in your system. Now I'm going to add a link in the description below where you can go ahead and take a look at how you can set up an Ubuntu machine on your system. So this way you can go ahead and set it up, let's say on your Windows machine or on your Mac OS machine as well. Now there's another way which is optional, which allows you to not install anything and just simply directly access the Linux terminal through run. So let me show you how that will work. Okay, so I'm over here on onworks.net. So this website allows you to run your Linux system on the cloud. So this is really nice because you do not have to do any kind of setup. They do all of that for you already. So here, for example, I'm going to select Ubuntu 20. And by the way, I will add the link for this website in the description below so that you can go ahead and directly do it yourself as well. Now it says run online, so I'm going to click on that. All right, now here you can click on start, which will go ahead and start the Linux machine for you. It will basically boot up the machine for you. So this will take a while. It takes around 20 seconds. So let's just wait for that and then we'll be back. All right, so then you should see this message, OS started successfully. So I'm going to click on enter here. And then here it's going to go ahead and prepare the server for you. Now that takes a while as well, around 25 seconds. This is all required to kind of boot up the machine, make sure it's ready so that you can start using it right away. All right, there you go. So you can see over here, now you have access to an Ubuntu machine. So right here, you can basically access all of your applications. So if you go over here, you will have access to all of the applications which are pre-installed as part of your Linux machine. So this is another alternative that you can try out. Let's say if you don't want to go ahead and set up an entire Linux system on your machine, or you don't want to set up a virtual box, this is another option. You can go ahead and try this out. Now, if you have a Mac OS, I would advise you to directly go ahead and simply just use your terminal in your Mac OS. But if you do not have that, or if you do not want to use the terminal there, you can just try to go ahead to this onworks.net website and set up your virtual machine over here. All right, in my case, I'm going to be using a virtual machine. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to that. All right, so I'm over here on virtual machine that I have set it up on my Mac OS. Now this is again an Ubuntu 20 machine. So if you want, you can set up your virtual machine like this, or simply just use the online one. Now the first thing we're going to focus on is how to access the terminal. So for that, it's pretty easy. Simply click on this button right here to show application. And then here you can simply click on the terminal. So either you click on it or you can even search for it. Let's say you have multiple applications there. So just search for terminal and it's going to show it up to you over here once it completes the searching. There you go. So it's going to show up like this. So simply open that up. So this is how you can go ahead and simply access your terminal. All right, as you can see, I've pulled up the terminal right here. So in the beginning, you're going to see, let's say your username as well as the machine name. So in my case, it's Dilpreet at Dilpreet-virtual-machine. All right, so in your case, you will probably see something else that's specific to your machine. So that's totally fine. All right, so the next we're going to look at is how we can run commands in terminal. Well, for that, you can simply just type something over here. And once you hit enter, it's going to think that you're trying to run some kind of command. In this case, it's going to tell you that this command has not been found. Well, obviously, because we just typed gibberish, so it's not going to find that command. But let's say if you're typing some other command, which is a valid command, let's say if I type in ls, which will go ahead and list the files or the directories in this particular path, it will show all of that to me over here. So you can see I have, let's say, the desktop, documents, downloads, and all of that right over here. So this is a nice way for you to simply go ahead and type something in, and your terminal will consider it to be a command, and it will tell you whether it's a valid command or not a valid command. And let's say if I type something else instead of ls, I type in le, it's going to tell you that command le cannot be found. But in certain cases, it will tell you whether that le is a valid command, and you can install it using some kind of command over here, such as sudo apt install le. So we're not going to worry about that, but you might get this from time to time if you type something in and it will tell you that, hey, this is possible to actually install it, but at the moment this command cannot be found on your machine. So that's fine. Another command that I'm just going to quickly show you is a clear command. The clear command will simply go ahead and clear everything from the screen. There you go. So now you can see all the text that we entered has been cleared now. So that's an easy way to simply go ahead and type something in, and it will consider it to be a command or a valid command or invalid command. So I've made some changes to the terminal theme just so it's easier for you to see the text. So the next thing we're going to focus on is how we can navigate through different commands. Now, if you remembered, we entered some commands. So if you just want to remember which command you entered before, let's imagine that you entered a really long command and you don't remember now. What you can do is you can simply press the up arrow on your keyboard. Let's say if I press that, you can see it's going to show me the previous command that I entered, which was the clear command. And if I press up arrow again, it's going to show me the ls command. So this is a really nice way for me to go ahead and take a look at the history of different commands that I have worked with. And if I just enter the down arrow key, it's going to show me the command that I entered after that. So for example, the clear was the next command, and if I enter again, it's going to basically come back to the original state. So if I go back, it's going to show me clear. If I go click on the down arrow, it's going to come back to the original state. So this is a really nice way for you to go ahead and basically navigate through a different command history that you have pretty much worked with. This is helpful specifically when you're working with multiple commands. Let's imagine you have entered a really long command like this over here, which includes a bunch of different arguments and command options, and you don't have to worry about what that means. But basically, if you have entered that and now you forgot to actually go ahead and remember what you did all of that over there, let's say you might have made some kind of typo or you probably did some kind of mistake. So in that case, you can simply press the up arrow key again, and then you can make some changes. For example, I entered by mistake this semicolon over there. I can remove that and I hit enter, and maybe that might fix my command. In this case, obviously it's a gibberish command, so it's not going to fix it, but it's just a nice way for you to simply go and take a look at the previous commands that you've entered so far. So this is a nice quick tip for you to go ahead and take a look at how you can navigate between different types of command that you have worked with. So now we're going to focus on the most important part, and that is how does the syntax work for your command. So it's really important for you to know how the syntax work for each command so that you can use it the right way. So this is the default syntax for each command. So as you can see, each command will have its options as well as arguments. Going back to our ls example that we have been using so far, if I just type that in, I can add in an option over here using -l. -l will show me all of the files in a long format. So if I just hit enter over here, you can see, I can see all of my, let's say, the files or directories that are here in my root, which is basically the root directory that I'm in right now. So you can see I have desktop downloads and all of that stuff. We were able to see this before as well, but we weren't able to see all of this detailed information over here. So here there's some extra information. I'm not going to get into too much of detail, but you can see, let's say you have your timestamps, you have the permission, let's say if you have a read-write access, what other access you have, the different user groups, all of that are showing up over here. So this is really helpful, let's say if you want to get more information to understand the different access level you have on each directory as well as file. So this is how you can go ahead and use different options to get different kind of information. So let's say if I use the ls-a, it will also show me all of the hidden files that are there in that particular directory. So you can see all of these dot files are basically the hidden files, which if I just hit enter with ls, it's not going to show up. So when I do ls-a, it's going to show me all of the hidden files as well. So that's because these are the different options we are adding in on top of our existing command, and it's going to giving us different kind of answers as well. So these options are really important for you to know how to work with because it's going to be different for each individual command. So the next thing we're going to look at is arguments. Now arguments are a little bit different than your options. Arguments are what your command needs to perform some kind of action on. So for example, if you want to take an action on some files or directories, that's where you're going to add that in your arguments. So in this case, let's say I want to print out some kind of file. So I'm going to do, let's say, cat to actually print something out. And then here I can add in the file name in my argument. So the file name, let's say I have is hello.txt. So if I just hit enter, you can see I'm getting the text back, hello there, because that was the content as part of my hello.txt file. So this is where you're going to use your command, and within the command, you're going to provide that argument, which will be your file name, directory name, and so on. So this is how you can use your commands with your arguments. Now remember, you can mix all of them together. For example, you can use your command with your option as well as argument. All of three of them are possible to do. So there's no restrictions where you can only use one or the other. All right, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one where we will take a look at how you can get more information as well as help if you're stuck with a particular command. Now, if you've enjoyed this video and would like to support my work, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. That's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one where we will take a look at how you can get more help or information if you're stuck with a particular command.